Welcome back everybody to the last game of the group stage as well as the last game of the day for MPGL. It's Team Malaysia versus MSI Evolution Gaming Team for game number 2 here in the 2-game series. And well, to be honest, I was a little bit mistaken after the end of the last game because, well, my brain just got tired. But Team Malaysia, they're actually at the same score as Aces are at the moment, 3-1. MSI are also 3-2 so far. So if Team Malaysia wins this, they're guaranteed a playoff spot. If MSI wins this, MSI are guaranteed to get to the playoffs, whereas Team Malaysia will have to tiebreak with Aces. Otherwise, MSI will have to tiebreak with Aces as well. So whoever wins this game, we're gonna have one tiebreak. No idea when it's gonna be played out, but we're gonna have a tiebreak at some point in any case. But guys, we're HeflaTV, the English coverage for you. I am Coucher, and I am joined for this last game as well by Mike Lores.
Alright, so we see Team Malaysia opening up with another different way of going. This way is a little bit more secure, a little bit more vanilla. They're still going to insist on banning out the Abaddon Spirit Breaker combo, which I have no idea still, but what's done is done. MSI, though, gonna get Centaur and Razor, and as far as powerful starts, it doesn't really get much more powerful than this.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Just kind of a tried and tested combination, really, the Razor and the Centaur. Was the Razor actually ignored in the last game, or was it just banned? Well, whatever it may have been, Malaysia picked themselves up the Skydive Mage. So, first of all, it denies MSI the possibility to go for that silence, which is so damn good against Brewmaster. As well as, of course, Mystic Flare or Skydive Mage overall. It's really never a bad support to pick up.
Yeah, both sides have extraordinarily strong matchups and picks so far. I do think the Razor was just ignored in the previous games. I know for a fact the Centaur was ignored, which is very rare to see nowadays, but looks like Team Malaysia might be playing a little bit more of a vanilla style, and they've been kind of playing some weird stuff, so I like to see them just calm down and stop throwing, because last game was, and the game before that, and the game before that, were like all really just messy for Team Malaysia. Brewmaster Scarith Mage is going to have a lot of lane control. Brewmaster versus Razor is a matchup that doesn't benefit the Brewmaster that much, but he still should be self-sufficient enough. And we are going to see MSI once again being starting to ban out these really hard carries. Spectre was the ban last time, and I don't know if Nagasiren was the ban, but they did target 2 hard carries of Team Malaysia.
I think Nagasiren was actually banned out in the first phase even by MSI in the last game. Of course, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was banned in the first phase, but MSI picking up an Earthshaker for themselves. Of course, now Team Malaysia can go for that Earthshaker Skydive combination even if they really wanted to. So what do they partner up now for that roaming potential? Is it something like a Wraith King that used to be popular? But nope, going for the core, the Viper. And well, we saw, I think, the Viper for Invasion working out wonders, just kind of being almost unkillable, or if he died, he took like 3 heroes with him every single time. So it's a strong hero, and actually I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen more of it.
Yeah, so it's incredibly tanky along with the Brewmaster is very difficult to deal with if you're MSI, but they do have a lot of damage themselves, especially Centaur, able to dish out quite a bit, and Razor going to add a little bit of physical and magical mixed to that as well. So Viper, as good as he is as a hero, is not without his counters, and it really looks like just a regular 0.81 style draft from both sides. It would be pretty much exactly that if MSI go for something like a Shadow Shaman, but they're already holding 2 melee heroes. It looks like range should be their priority for the upcoming picks. Otherwise, Viper is just going to have a field day.
Yeah, it's definitely true at the moment. I mean, you definitely have to prioritize or kind of respect the power of a Viper. So if MSI ignore it, might be in a huge amount of trouble after that. But so far MSI, they have pretty solid heroes themselves. I mean, 2 of them are extremely tanky. Earthshaker is gonna most likely stay at the backlines anyway to get those nice long-range fishers off. And oh, Witch Doctor is the pick. I guess so far Team Malaysia didn't have too much to stop that Death Ward. Only the Ancient Seal really, and maybe Boulder Toss from the Primal Split, which isn't all that reliable to be honest. So Witch Doctor definitely can work out here.
Yeah, it's just nice follow-up stun with the Earthshaker. It's a ranged hero so that they have a little bit of poking potential against their lanes, and Witch Doctor, Earthshaker, not the strongest roaming combination, but it definitely could do the job. And now Malaysia can go with the Lion in response. It is going to be a whole lot of crowd control coming out of that hero. It's some desperately needed crowd control, as you said, only Boulder and the Silence from Scarith Mage being any sort of lockdown at all. So Lion is going to be a very nice pickup, I think, for Team Malaysia. And now I think both sides looking for one more core hero. It's going to be Clink spanned out. And Team Malaysia, what are they going to ban now? Doesn't really matter because MSI, they have such a strong team already that their core could be a little bit weaker and they can still get away with it.
To be honest, it's funny, a little bit funny at least to me, that I think Lynx has been like the last ban for 3 consecutive games now in a row. I think Team Malaysia banned it out even in 2 games themselves. I was kind of expecting for them to ban it out now as well, or at least when I saw the Lynx ban. Unfortunately, it was MSI. I thought like maybe it's a thing for Team Malaysia, starting with the Abaddon Spirit Breaker ban and ending with the Clinks or something, but Bristleback is the pick for MSI here as the 5th one, and Team Malaysia. Lion will be good in just bursting down anybody, of course. But I really like that MSI, they have just a crap ton of tanky cores.
Oh yeah, all of them are going to get so big, and especially when you combine that with Witch Doctor's Voodoo Restoration. Malaysia's damage isn't actually that high. Brewmaster is more of a disruptor than a damager. He'll be able to get to the back lines and pick off the Earthshaker for sure, but there we go. That's what I like to see. If you're going up against all these really tanky heroes, get the true damage out from the Timber Saw, or pure damage. I don't know. What is it called now? I have no idea. But either way, get that damage done onto the Bristleback and Centaur. Both of them strength heroes, so they're going to be hit extra hard by that Whirling Death. And then just go to town. That's the damage source that Malaysia need. And right now, MSI don't really have that many great ways of dealing with the Timber Saw. They have a whole bunch of stuns, but lots of physical damage for them. And Timber Saw is pretty okay with that with the reactive armor.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I have to say I also like the Timber Saw pick. The pure damage will be of great use. And not only that, the Whirling Death, reducing your primary stat, which against strength heroes of course is the strength, so suddenly that much easier to bring them down. Whirling Death, Finger of Death to follow up. Definitely a nice combination, so the last pick was nice, of course. They don't have the most of stuns still, and slows up against Centaur might not cut it because Stampede is a pretty good ability, of course. We will see though how well either side can just execute their lineups as well here, and will it be yet another game where, for example, Team Malaysia take an early advantage kind of, and maybe not throw it away completely, but have it taken away from them?
That has been kind of how they've been operating, which is unfortunate to see. I think overall, I like MSI's lineup just a little bit more. They have a whole bunch of damage. It's not all in physical or all in magical either. It's very balanced, and they're very tanky. So MSI, they could do pretty much whatever they want with this comp. They could take it reasonably late, especially against what Team Malaysia are bringing to the table. So I think in general, I like MSI's team comp a little bit more. It's going to have to be Team Malaysia getting an early start. Otherwise, I don't see them being able to win this in the later stages.
It's definitely going to be just extremely hard, if not impossible completely. Of course, I guess nothing is impossible in Dota, depending on the itemization and whatnot, and how, even if it gets to later stages, it's not always that both teams are late game ready, so to say, because one team might be suppressed completely and in their base can't get any farm, all they can do is turtle or something. But to introduce the lineups, the teams, for the last time for the day, or for the group stages overall, YND will be playing on the Witch Doctor for MSI, leaving JYC on the Earthshaker with Shenroy, being that tri-lane center for them, as X-Lucky will be on the Razor mid lane, leaving Chotan to play the offlane Bristleback.
And on Team Malaysia, we have Ohio playing the Timber Saw over on the bottom lane. X is going to be supporting as the Skywrath Mage, as is Net on the Lion. Mid lane is going to be the Viper, handled by Mushi, and that leaves KYXY as the core farming Brewmaster. Looks like it's going to be a defensive Brewmaster tri-lane. I mean, they don't really have any other great ways of laning this, but I think if you want to run a tri-lane with Brewmaster, swap the top and bottom lanes.
It definitely would have been possibly a little bit better, especially since Timber, so I think he's really heavily momentum based. Of course, he can handle his own against most tri-lanes, but early on the Timber chain isn't all that reliable, and oh, will we see a Fisher? Yes, we will! There's nothing to whirling. Oh, actually, he gets to the high ground, eats his way through as well. Really nice place to actually Timber chain away to. Paralyzing Cask, of course, nothing to bounce to. So he's just gonna have to waste a lot of consumables, nothing else. And I really love Ohio where he actually Timber chain. I thought like he's completely screwed, but Timber chain through, immediate Tango as well to follow up, and got away.
Yeah, really quick on the draw. Otherwise, it would have been a nice opportunity for MSI to get first blood on probably the most dangerous hero of Team Malaysia, and that would have been pretty disastrous for the Malaysians, but they're going to stick with the status quo. Timbersaw, though, is going to have to respect this lane. There is so much stunning up here, and he's going to get fissured once again. This time, Timber Chain, it is going to be in range again. He's going to escape, but still, the pressure on this Timbersaw is the real deal, and the same pressure isn't being reciprocated over on top towards the Bristleback. However, Net and X going to move downwards. they're going to find an Earthshaker with no mana, and that's a nice opportunity for them. They have Hex, they should have Arcane Bolts as well, but Ohio can't really contribute that much. He's only level 1, and the smoke is going to start to wear off. It's actually only at half. So they're going to close in, and Earthshaker should be the target, but he has almost enough mana for a Vigil. There's a Concussive Shot. With the Timbersaw coming in as well, just right-click should be a lot of damage. With Hex as well, JYC taking so much. The Timber Chain's going to miss, however, and now JYC is on the run. The cast is going to bounce through, slowing down the Skywrath Mage. Ohio dropping pretty low as well. Has another Timber Chain, but the Fisher's going to kill him off. That's first blood going the way of MSI, and Earthshaker is going to live. Here comes the Timbersaw once again. Wants to maybe continue this fight, but it's pretty much fruitless. They've wasted a pretty large opportunity there. I don't even know if the kill was possible.
I definitely didn't expect it to come out like that as well, and I actually thought that JYC not having enough mana for the Fisher, if the gank had come like 3 seconds later, it might have been even worse for Team Malaysia, to be honest, if the Fisher had been there immediately. But he got enough mana by the end anyway. If only Team Malaysia would have been a little bit more decisive, gotten there like 3-4 seconds earlier, maybe the kill didn't happen on the Timbersaw like that. But all in all, MSI getting off to a pretty good start, and well, Timbersaw at least is getting some levels out of this. Not too sure if it's just going to be enough though.
Yeah, Timbersaw really needs that good start if you want him to be a destructive force. He could do pretty well even though he does get shut down. I mean, you don't put a hero on the offlane if they can't do something without farm. So he's going to be able to do a lot of damage pretty much regardless, but I don't know. The rest of Team Malaysia, they kind of need this Timbersaw to be doing damage. Viper is actually going to go for a very heavy damage route as well, so maybe even if the Timbersaw doesn't have a great start, level 2 Nether Toxin, level 2 Poison Attack, not a single point corrosive means that Viper is going to be doing a lot more damage than he normally does. As against a Razor, usually it's, you know, probably 2 points in corrosive skin by now at the very least.
Definitely a different build, but usually Team Malaysia, they are the aggressive sort, but they're going to go on to Chotan. They're going to get the slow first. Actually, he's changing direction, but the Thunderclap to follow up. They have the Hex as well. 2.5 second disable. I don't think Chotan should be able to escape this, but look at the damage onto Net. He's going to have to actually run away. Not enough mana on Chotan anyway for more Quill Sprays, but of course Bristleback might invoke some, and Thunderclap does get the kill in the end. So it's a 1-for-1, but Bristleback, he was pretty damn close to just getting a kill on Net there.
Yeah, Lion and Skywrath Mage are not exactly heroes known for their tankiness. 1 armor, 450 HP, 0 armor, 530 HP. You stack up a couple of Quill Sprays, and suddenly the enemy heroes are going to be dropping like flies. And the scary thing is that even Timbersaw is vulnerable to that, who's now going to try to go aggressive. No, he's not. So Bristleback's physical is going to be incredibly useful, as unless you burst him down very quickly, you're going to be taking a lot of damage, such as X right now, slowed down by 2 stacks of a very early Nasal Goo, and now 3 stacks. He does not have boots, and the Bristleback does, so I think X is going to go down here. That's going to be another Quill Spray and the death of the Skywrath Mage. Jotan finding that one solo. KYXY doing what he can. I don't know if he has enough damage for this one, but though doesn't have enough mana for a clap, although he will have it very shortly. He's going to have to stick on Jotan. Hex is going to come in from the side. Net's going to come in, barely any HP though. The clap is there, and this should be the death of Jotan. He's going to stick himself up, and it looks like it won't be enough. Net's still dropping dangerously low though. It's going to be 1-for-1 at the end of the day.
Man, it's not worth it, I think, for MSI probably in the end. Of course, they were still at least wasting a lot of time, which Brewmaster maybe could have used to get last hits or whatnot. And of course Net, and he just came to the lane and suddenly he has to back off all the way home, more or less. Just so annoying to be up against those Quill Sprays, really. But, well, at least they got the counter kill. Timbersaw getting some reasonable XP, to be honest, on the bottom lane. Almost level 4, 4.5 minutes in. For a solo offlaner up against such a strong tri-lane as MSI's is, I think it's a pretty nice feat that Timbersaw has accomplished so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's almost at the same level of the Bristleback, and Bristleback is, for the most part, fighting 1v1, so obviously he has an easier time. Timbersaw, all he really needs is levels. Of course, more gold gives him more mana regeneration, which means more damage and more sustained damage, but if you get the levels at all, you're going to have a lot more burst, and with 2 points in the Timber Chain plus 1 in Whirling Death, he's going to be able to put some serious hurt onto pretty much whoever he runs into, as long as there are trees available. So Ohio has pretty much recovered from his poor early start with the first blood, and now he's going to be getting some pretty decent farm, and there's not much of the Centaur can really do about this by himself, except for, you know, chunk him down, but that's at the trade of his own HP, so Centaur can't really do that for much longer until he gets Tranquil Boots, in which case the damage will consistently flow. Still, the score is tied, and it looks like Brewmaster, off of those 2 kills, is just going to straight up rush a Blink Dagger. I don't mind this choice that much just because he is so close to it, but he's going to be strapped for mana for sure.
Well, at the very least he has the Magic Stick as well to help out a little bit there, which might even be enough, because at least up against the Bristleback, your Magic Stick will almost always be with full charges. And really, up against such a hero, it's an item you can't really miss. But Net, together with Extinct, they are smoked up. Ohio not level 6, so no chakram, but even without that, they might get an easy kill, really. Tranquil Boots, Shenru actually dropped them as he was farming, so just has to get the regeneration further. But oh, they really want to go in. It's a little bit too obvious, though. They just all three came stacked up on top of each other and hoped for the best, kind of.
Mid lane, Lucky and Mushi are dueling it out, but Mushi is actually staying in range of the static link, lands the Viper Strike regardless, and Razor with the bottle is not going to be enough to survive. Mushi with 2 points, and then Nether Toxin 4 and Poison Attacks to get the kill. But meantime, bottom lane, the Lion does go down. Ohio going to try to kill off the Centaur. He does get out of there before the double edge can land. Ohio is going to survive for a little while longer as X. He's going to take a lot of damage, can't do enough to outrace the Voodoo Restoration. He will go down as well. Ohio still in the corner. Do they know about this? They should know about this. Lion's got to come around with the spike in order to cover his Timbersaw friend. Timbersaw is going to get enough mana and Timber Chain out of there. But still the score is tied, 4 for 4. It's a kill on the bottom lane in exchange for a kill on mid. Mushi's going to be very happy about that, though. This usually is a much more even lane than we're seeing right now. 14-0 on the Viper versus 39 for 22 for Mushi. This Viper is crushing this lane.
Wow, that's actually absolutely sick, as Net is going to get stunned up. Hoof Stomp to follow with the Fisher as well, double edge. They get another support kill, but really this Razor struggling this hard is kind of a surprise to me. I didn't expect it to go that way. Of course, he only has 1 point into static link, so can't do all that much. And I'm not too sure if he was actually aware of the skill build Mushi decided to go for or not. Maybe he was playing a little bit more defensively because he thought that there's corrosive skin or something. But look at JYC. Timber Chain on cooldown. Well, it's a low cooldown, but Fisher to begin with. Hoof Stomp to follow up as well with the double edge. They should have enough, and indeed they do. Shenru under the tower. Voodoo Restoration will keep him just alive.
Ohio not having the best times down here, unfortunately for him. But Mushi's still doing pretty well, and it looks like this is actually going to be a Hand of Midas Viper build. If you're doing this well, I don't really mind that, but generally Viper needs to be a little bit more active in getting the mech potentially for the team. But yeah, I think it's got to be just Razor not expecting this Viper's build. He should know about it by now, since he took so much damage and was slowed down so much by poison attack, so he should have a pretty good read. But it's a little bit too late because the lane has already been pretty much dominated by the Viper, and unless you make some awesome rotations from the Razor, it's not going to be salvaged, as Mushi is going to be rotating up towards top, and looks like Jotan is none the wiser, only has X to deal with in lane. Gusto Shot is out, and Mushi is going to see Earthshaker rotate in. This is an easier kill on the Earthshaker than it is on the Bristleback. He'd probably just go for that one. He needs more help, though. Here comes Brewmaster as well, and they really don't know that Mushi is here. There's the single poison attack. I don't know what Mushi's doing right now. Viper Strike onto Jotan. Blink forward for KYXY. No mana for a clap, though, or for a stomp, for a split, rather. JYC is going to get away. Poison attack will kill him off. No, it won't. 8 HP. He survives. That's going to be survival of everyone on the top lane. In the meantime, Net, being dove by X Lucky, is going to survive as well. Rotation in from the Viper with level 4 poison attack. Can't get in range, although Phase Boots, he might actually chase this Razor down. He is a little bit faster once the phase is active, and he does have the Scarith Mage coming in from the side. Gust of Shot going to slow Lucky down. Viper Strike not available, but the poison attacks, I don't think Lucky's going to escape this. Finally, it's going to be Team Malaysia getting a kill. It should have been the kill in the top lane, though, in all honesty.
It definitely should have been, of course. I think Team Malaysia, they did a pretty wise decision nonetheless. They just weren't expecting the Stampede to come out, which I guess is kind of a given. 9 minutes in, the Stampede will be available, especially if it's a tri-lane Centaur being there. But all in all, Team Malaysia is still farming up rather well, getting the kills on the cores as well, because MSI, yes, they have one more kill than Team Malaysia does, but it's mostly on the supports, whereas Team Malaysia have been getting the kills on the cores as well at the same time. Actually, JYC is going to go down to Ohio. Oh, Rishi, the Fisher buys some time. One more chakram, that's all they need really as X-Lucky. Going to get Earth spiked up, and I think Mushi should have enough. Yes, he does, even with the static link being there. Ohio doesn't get the kill, but now he's in trouble. Has another Timber Chain. Is he going to get far enough? I don't think so. One more Q spray. Chotan picks up the kill. So it's a 2-for-1 exchange. MSI coming out ahead.
Most of the time, your Timbersaw is going to be able to secure the kill on the Earthshaker, but Shaker's actually surprisingly durable at this stage. It doesn't have any health items, but just Timbersaw not having enough levels to kind of compensate for that, and the fact that they're both level 6. So Timbersaw is not working with any sort of level advantage as you would ordinarily expect from a Timbersaw at this stage, and it is a kill on the Razor, which is going to be incredibly useful for Team Malaysia. They're going to go for the Scarith Mage up on top. It's going to be Jotan by himself. Not enough damage from Ohio, as he's going to just give up on that one. This Bristleback is going to be a huge problem. He's very tanky, with the Vanguard now Power Treads up as well. And Team Malaysia, what do they have in order to answer this? Pretty much just the Timbersaw, who's not having a good time. He's 2 levels down behind the Bristleback.
It's definitely going to hurt him quite a lot. And now look at this. Smoke rotation. There's the blink coming out. Hoof Stomp. Well, I guess it wasn't necessary. Maybe would have gotten the kill anyway. Double H though, not even needed to bring down Ohio. And usually Timbersaw, yes, he's a pretty tanky hero, but with 0 items, like literally 0 more or less, now picks up a Bracer. Usually an item you don't see that often on Timbersaw to begin with. Just struggling pretty damn hard to find any kind of farm, and he has 1.5k net worth, just behind everybody on MSI.
They're going to run into the Earthshaker, and this time the Earthshaker is definitely not tanky enough to withstand this. Although he does get a fissure out. He lasted a lot longer than I thought, but he will go down in the end. Yeah, this Timbersaw I think is going to have to be going for a drum build. It's a pretty good item on Timbersaw, honestly, but the reason why you don't see it all that often is because there are better items that you can get with the gold that you usually can't pick up with the Timbersaw. Drums is exactly what he wants as far as stats are concerned. Movement speed is nice for repositioning, but it's just cheap, and Timbersaw doesn't like cheap items. It is going to be forced out of him, though, as Net's getting picked off by Shenrui, trying to TP out. I don't think that was worth it, giving a killing spree to the Timbersaw. In exchange for a Lion, I mean, it's a support kill, but I guess Centaur just wants to flex his muscles, and he's going to kill off the Lion.
That was so funny to see. I mean, Lion pretty much died just as fast as the Centaur himself. He just got completely wrecked apart by the Timbersaw, but Shotan does he really want to go aggressive? I guess he does. 2 stacks of Vicious Nasal Goo already. Gonna start stacking up. The slow comes in. But Shotan, he doesn't care all that much. Primal Split, it's forced out. Chakram doesn't even connect properly. But now there are the slows from Mushi coming in as well. But the Stampede, it might be enough once again to save a hero. I guess it is. There's the Fisher. X-Lucky comes in with a nice Plasma Field as well. Paralyzing Cask bounces through the heroes pretty nicely. Death Ward not used quite yet. There's the Earthquake though. Is he gonna go for it? Waiting for the perfect position. He's in the Chakram though. Blink, Thunderclap. They're gonna bring down YND. Shotan drops low as well. 2 heroes for 0 so far. Double kill for Ohio. But there's the Hoofstomp Double H. Catches 2 heroes after the Fisher. Net Earth Spike onto Shenrui. So he does survive himself. So I guess it's a 3 for 2 in the end. Unless we see another Fisher. 5 seconds on cooldown JYC. I think they're gonna get Net as well. Or never mind. They're gonna back off in the end.
Yeah, and it looks like it was in fact a 3 for 2. So Team Malaysia coming out slightly ahead in that. Getting a little bit more gold. Getting a little bit more experience. If their Viper didn't have a Hand of Midas, he would have definitely had the mech completed, and that wouldn't have gone the way of MSI at all. I don't know if they would have gotten a single kill with the mech online, and that's the price you pay for getting a farming item. You just don't have that impact as you ordinarily would. So Team Malaysia still taking a pretty good fight, and it's a much-needed fight as well. So they're going to have to respect this Centaur ultimate, I think. It's been pretty much the bane of their existence, and Lion, although he does have a lot of disables, the Hex doesn't actually do anything once the Stampede is out. Now Mushi, I don't know what you're doing up here at such low HP, bro. Not a good idea. Now Shenrui off to the right side is going to try to escape. Brewmaster's going to get the tower denied, but it's just another free kill drive-by onto Mushi. Why would you stay in that area at such low HP? It's beyond me.
Mushi, well, he's just that kind of player, I guess. He's getting some health back over was getting from the Headrest. Not nearly enough though as Ohio. Gets the Timber Chain away from that static link of X-Lucky. But they're going for the push. X-Lucky actually needs still the mech recipe as well, so he's still gonna get it later than Mushi will, who even went for the Hand of Midas before. That just goes to show how hard Mushi actually dominated the lane. Plus X-Lucky, he's tied 4 times and only been a part of 3 kills, but will they get the Earthspike? No, it's gonna actually miss. There's the Fisher onto KYXY though. Mystic Flare, Shenrui gets out of it, still drops extremely low. Nobody's down yet, KYXY. I can't believe he's still alive. Finally, they get Vision for the Death Ward. They get the kill, they get the tower as well. Yeah, huge win for MSI.
KYXY actually went up to the high ground, lost the Death Ward, lost vision of him, and then he went right back down into it, and then like kind of confirmed to MSI that the Brewmaster was indeed still alive. The Maledict might have killed him off, but it's only a level 1 skill, and level 1 Maledict actually isn't that good. So Brewmaster kind of throwing his life away. If he was just up on the high ground and just chilling there, he would have lived for long enough at the very least to get his Primal Split off. But instead, he goes down, giving a free kill to MSI. The tower was also destroyed. It was, yeah, actually the Bristleback taking that tower. Was Bristleback taking top lane tower? Was that what happened?
Oh, the top was denied by the Brewmaster.
Oh, right. So Joe-chan got the mid lane tower. Right,
yes.
Okay.
And actually now farming up, I think, a triple stack of Ancients here as well. So some nice gold going in the way of Bristleback, getting the tower, getting the Ancients now as well, tanking up a little bit, power threats finished. Still not unkillable by any means, of course. Actually rather squishy for a Bristleback even maybe. At least up against Finger of Death and as well of course a Timbersaw. But doing well enough. And actually Mushi, he's not even number 1 in net worth, although he's had the Hand of Midas for about 5 minutes, slightly more by now. The Centaur actually holding that number 1 position.
not really surprising either. Centaur's been going everywhere, and everywhere he goes, he gets kills. So that's a lot of kills. 10 out of the 15. It's been because of the Centaur in some way. Team Malaysia, they're going to try to go for this bottom lane push. Again, their Timbersaw is the largest source of their damage, but he's not actually doing enough. So MSI, they're getting a lot of survivability on their heroes. Bristleback should be getting a Crimson soon enough, I think. No, it's actually going to be a BKB. So Jotan's going to protect himself fully from magical damage, which means Timbersaw is going to be really sad about that. And then at that point, what physical damage do the Dire have in order to deal with this hero? Pretty much none. They're going to try to initiate, but Shenroi off to the left with the smoke available on him. He's going to counter-initiate if anyone does jump in. This is going to be a terrible angle for the Dire to initiate this fight. If they do, in fact, go in, they're going to back off for now and consolidate. So it could have been really bad for them, but they decide against it, and it's a good decision.
It definitely is, although Team Malaysia, they're still angling for something, waiting for MSI to overextend. There's the Plasma Field suddenly, KYXY gets spotted out as well. They have the Primal Split though, they have the Finger of Death for, well, I guess it's easier to say they have every single ultimate up for them. So they're definitely ready to fight, but the same can be said for MSI. And this time around, maybe YND can get a slightly better Death Ward off as well than in the top fight that, well, I guess happened a pretty long time ago by now already.
Jotan on the front lines wants to bait any skills that he possibly can, but I think Team Malaysia should be smarter to this. Not going for the Bristleback is going to win you the game, or win you the fight at the very least. And here they come. They're going to blink forward for a clap, only onto 1 though. Blink forward for an Echo Slam onto 4, with Shenroi jumping in for 3. Man, Hoof Stomp, now the Death Ward's being channeled, and everyone from Team Malaysia is going to go down. Ohio, trying to hide in the trees, is going to survive barely. Actually, the creeps are going to kill him off, it seems. No, he's going to live at 10 HP. No, he's killed by the neutral creeps. Now Mushi is going to be blinked upon. He's going to get stunned up. That's a full 5-man wipe. MSI demolished Team Malaysia there, and they didn't even drop very low. No one dropped low, in fact.
They pretty much killed 3 heroes before any of those 3 got a single spell off. And of course, Mushi not being there immediately with the mech, although I'm not too sure if it would have even made a difference. Just because, beautiful 2-man Echo Slam, 3-man Hoof Stomp to follow up as well, Double H. I'm not too sure if he even cast it. It felt to me that he backed off immediately, didn't want to die or anything. Or if he did Double H, it at least connected onto 2, if not more. So just excellent fight, they get the tier 2 and looks like they haven't given up yet. And of course, KYXY didn't even get the Primal Split off. That's one of the biggest things, I think. If the Primal Split comes out, he's kind of invulnerable, doesn't have to worry about too much because MSI's physical damage isn't that scary quite yet. But if you can't get the Primal Split off, then that's a huge issue for you.
Yeah, the Primal Split, I think, would have helped KYXY survive, but I don't think it would have been enough to help Team Malaysia win the team fight. And, you know, the Brewmaster died in the end, which is not a good thing, but Split honestly wouldn't have done the deed right there, just because it was so fast. That fight was over pretty much before it even began, as Team Malaysia decided to initiate onto a Bristleback with a Sanj, Vanguard, and Power Treads. This dude's sitting at 1700 HP with Voodoo Restoration backup. He doesn't even have Bristleback maxed out. That's so surprising to me that he's this tanky without maxing out this skill. Jotan's more or less unkillable at this point. Like, he's just so tanky right now, and if he does complete this Heaven's Halberd, or even if he goes for Sanj and Yasha, maybe getting the Crimson Guard, I don't know what Team Malaysia could do about this. They need their Timbersaw to be doing lots of pure damage, but when you're insta-killed like that, you're not doing any damage.
Well, at least he has a point booster, so he's a little bit more tanky now on Ohio, which, well, is really only a little bit. Mushi will actually get the tower in return. Shenroi, he comes in, what? That was a huge mistake. He's gonna have to use the Stampede. I'm not sure if it's even gonna be enough by now. The Corrosive Skin's still taking him down. One more right click and Mushi, he's just gonna pick up the kill, unless the Fisher, is it gonna be enough? I have my doubts still. Poison attack level 4 is just too much. And can Mushi actually go for more? JWC he has to be careful. We'll get the blink. They really want to reinitiate, even Jotan is coming in as well. JYC not gonna follow up anymore, I think. Or no, they get the Vicious Nasal Goo. This is once again just turning into be a crazy just fight or engagement, or I don't even know. Net, he's gonna get the Earthquake only onto 1 though. Plasma Feed comes through, X-Lucky. Still has the mech, a little bit too low on mana, doesn't really matter. They get the 1 kill net. Don't think there's any escape either, and in the end, looks like the Centaur, it was tactical bait.
Oh yeah, super tactical. Giving up your life in order to get that trade ordinarily would be good. I think it's actually a bad trade for MSI just because they are so far ahead. They could get that type of kill score without giving up a hero. So having the Centaur die is actually pretty bad. Like, it's not the worst because they are so far ahead, but they could have been a lot better if they just played a little bit smarter. Regardless, it is going to be Team Malaysia losing once again 2 heroes, they can't afford to be giving MSI any more kills. I mean, they're already hard enough to kill as it is. If you give them more levels, then things are going to get just so out of hand. That is to say, if things aren't out of hand already. And I think you could argue that fact that Team Malaysia are pretty much up shit's creek without a paddle. They can't really do much in this game, aside from maybe get a pick off. Blowing the smoke is going to be a nice start, and the Timber Chain into a TP out. Timbersaw is going to live. Fortunately for them, they don't lose anyone there, but I don't think their towers are going to be as lucky.
Probably not, or at least if they are, then Team Malaysia has to just bring in something huge for the team fight. And so far, KYXY, oh, Shenroy gets a solo kill onto net. I guess not the hardest thing. Had to use a Stampede for it, so they won't have that in the next fight if they actually want to pressure the tower on the top side here. But KYXY, how many primal splits have we actually seen? I want to say like 2 maximum.
I think it's easier to count how many primal splits that we've seen that have added an impact. And I'm pretty sure that number is closer to 0.
Oh man, you're just being mean. But
no, it's true. Like, he's not able to do anything. Everyone's so tanky. Like, you could split and you could stun someone, but then what? Like, you don't have enough damage to follow up. The Razor's not going to die to that. The Bristleback sure as hell isn't going to die, nor is the Centaur. Maybe you kill off a support, but that's through level 4 Voodoo Restoration. The split is not going to be doing any damage for Team Malaysia.
Okay, we actually got the blink out. You could see Shenroy trying to angle for it, but Team Malaysia, they just give up the tower without a fight. Literally just gave up on it. MSI getting more map control, getting the gold. Looking at the graphs as well, it's already a 12,000 net worth lead for them. XP nearing 10,000 as well. It's really, of course, 6.82. The comebacks are real, or potentially, for Team Malaysia. And Viper has the Hand of Midas running, so at least he's getting some pretty nice levels. Actually, he's almost level 16, which is pretty sick, considering that their team is behind and it's only 22 minutes in. But a solo Viper probably will fail to impress unless the rest of the team from Team Malaysia will just start picking up the slack.
Yeah, and what can these heroes really do? Lion, I don't think I've seen a Finger of Death a single time this game. And if it was casted, then it pretty much didn't do anything. Skywrath Mage, kind of the same thing. Has a whole boatload of damage to deploy if you could find someone to deploy it on. And Earthshaker, Witch Doctor, those are the 2 options that aren't really viable. Brewmaster is going to head on towards the Aghanim Scepter, and still the Timbersaw is struggling with his Bloodstone. This is a very late Bloodstone, and still it's going to be some damage from the Timbersaw, but I don't know. MSI, they're just getting items so much faster. Sanjanyasha and Crimson Guard both completed onto Jotan. He could go for literally whatever item he wants, and Centaur, he's going to pretty much complete the pipe, as Razor's almost going to complete his Aghanims. Big items coming up from MSI, and the items are a lot scarier than what Team Malaysia have. They're going to lure Jotan into a trap, but who's trapping who right now? Because Jotan is very tanky. He's going to take every single nuke in the book, but an Echo Slam for JYC is going to deny them that kill and take 3 in return. And now Mushi's all alone. All his teammates are dead. They're going to put some stuns into him. He does have the mech still. Couldn't even get it off to save his allies. Shenri doesn't have Stampede, but he does have a 4-staff and Hoof Stomp. Soon enough, Mushi is going to have to run away from this one. Blink forward for the Enchant Totem and the Hoof Stomp. Here comes Timbersaw, way too late to help out. Will kill off the Earthshaker, but at what cost? Timber Chain out from Ohio, but he's still linked up by Lucky. And with the Death Ward there, I don't think this Timbersaw is going to escape. He's going to suicide. That's going to be GG. It was pretty easy for MSI in game number 2.
Definitely was just really well done, and MSI, with this, they are 4-2 in the group stages, actually having the best score out of the 3 teams, being up against Invasion, Team Malaysia, as well as Aces. So extremely well done, and I do believe we're gonna have Team Malaysia have a tiebreaker up against Team Aces at some point, not sure when. I highly doubt it's today because it's getting late where they are. It's midnight for them already, I think. So a tiebreaker will happen at some point, but guys, thank you so much for tuning in, watching these great games, and overall, it is not it for the evening yet. For MPGL, yes, we are done, but on HeflaTV 2, we're gonna have the Brazilian Game Cup. Actually, it's already live. The games are starting in about 18 minutes time. Plus, Album Sheet versus Ant something for Yard Red Festival on HeflaTV 2 on ESFX, as well as ESFX 1 will have, or never mind, HeflaTV 0, Heflamoke is having Power Rangers vs X Game at the moment as well. So lots of Dota still to come out from HeflaTV on various channels. So don't go anywhere. We're just going to link you, direct you to whatever right channels. And just once again appreciate it that you came. And Mike, where can people find you?
I'm going to be on Twitter at Mike Loris, and Twitch Mike Loris is my handle as well. but most of the time I'm on these channels. So drop a follow, guys, and we're actually just broke the 1,000 like mark on Facebook. So hooray, numbers and stuff. So thanks for the support, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, that's it for now. But still, the other channels are live, and we're going to be bringing you a lot more Dota.
Yeah, indeed we are. So guys, check out HeflaTV too, HeflaMock, as well as our ESFX channels for Yardred Festival. So guys, for us, it's it for now. We're gonna see you on other channels. We're gonna get casting on those as well. So see you in probably 30 minutes, if not less. So have a good one, guys, until then.